Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is going to be a follow-up from the whole Elite Raid update video, all that. This is a PG one, so don't worry about that. Part of why I'm making this one, so in case you couldn't watch that other one, this one will get you in the loop. But if you didn't know, EUROGAMER did publish an article with an interview from a Niantic higher-up around roughly the same time, talking about the nerf and coming community content and things like that. So they answered a super important question that we've all been wondering for years now. What is the median Pokemon Go player? Well, I can safely confirm that we finally have a Niantic official answer on that statement. I'm going to put it up on the screen right here. I might insert some drumroll effects in here, we'll see. But after 6 years, the long-awaited question, what is the median Pokemon Go player according to Niantic? Well, it is a Singaporean grandma who walks with her senior group for 30 to 60 minutes. Yeah. That's what Niantic thinks is the median Go player. A Singaporean grandmother in a senior group. I'll have this article linked in the description if you want to read this stuff for yourself. This is straight from the article. Like I said, I will have a picture of this up on either side of me here. I'm not sure which one yet. But so don't worry, guys. All Pokemon Go players are Singaporean grandmothers and senior groups. Heard it right here from Niantic. Now, are there people that fall into that category? Absolutely. Is that most of the player base? No. So I don't know where they're getting that from, but yeah, we finally got the question we've all been wondering for 6 years. We finally got that answered. Took them long enough, but so basically, if you haven't, I'm sure you've heard by now, but if you haven't, they're killing remote raiding. They're increasing the price of the passes by almost triple. They're putting a cap of 5 per day on them, which may increase for events. And they're not really doing anything to buff the in-person rates to balance it, aside from more XL candy, which is unconfirmed at this time if that is Rare Candy XL or just Pokemon XL candy. This stuff doesn't go live for another 4 days at the time of recording. It goes live at about around sometime on April 6th. It's currently April 2nd. So we won't actually know if there even is an increase in whatever XL candy they're referring to until the 6th happens. But, so that's that. I'm actually going to bump that over real quick. There we go. So yeah, they're not changing the damage yet, but per this article from Eurogamer, the person does say that they're still looking into things like that, so that's very much still on the table. I believe, if I remember correctly, the 3 bundle is going up to 525 coins, which is currently 300, and then a single pass is going from 100 to 195. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. This comes after they've pretty much removed every other accessibility feature that the pandemic brought, such as the incense being 1 minute no matter what, etc., etc. They did try to remove the stop distance, but then they added that back in after people boycotted and stuff online. The sponsors have actually been good for something for once, in that they've pretty much confirmed that Niantic isn't going to change this stuff no matter what happens. Which is why I haven't really been part of the hashtags and stuff online, because if they're not going to change their ways, there's no point in even doing one. Especially since I'm sure they have HERES muted after the prior time they tried to pull stuff. But that's a different topic. But we've got even more icing on the cake today. So obviously it's April 2nd now. That means there's new field research. It's a new month. We've got a new breakthrough box, kinda. There's only one new thing added to it. So what are these new field researches? There are new field researches, right? Right? Nope. They haven't enabled them. Now, at first we figured, okay, they probably just forgot because of the April Fool's event and whatnot going on, because that had its own researches. Well, it is currently almost 2 o'clock p.m. on the 2nd, and at the time of recording this, there is no new field research. The only field research that's in Pokestops right now is stuff left over from March, and then the ones that never changed, like the 3 great throws for Snubbull, Catch 7 for Magikarp, Power Up for the starters, etc. So add that to the list of things that they haven't done. Which is, there's a whole other thing. Let's go over that for a minute. Obviously, we've had the things like the 2017 GoFest disaster, shinies turned into Dittos for Safari Zones, etc. in the past. But I'm not going to cover those because A, this video would be like an hour long, and then B, I don't have all those on standby right now to verify them. So we're just going to talk about the ones so far from this year. Now let's start with the elephant in the room, Hoenn Tour Las Vegas. So if you don't remember, the game pretty much functioned the same way it did for GoFest 2017 for this event. People couldn't log in, servers crashed, primal raids kicked people out and wouldn't work no matter what. You were lucky if you even were able to do any. Spawns were bugged, service got capped, etc. The Wi-Fi crashed, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, okay, first event of the year, first live thing pre-pandemic, whatever, there's going to be bugs. That's fine, whatever. That wasn't all. Now, some of you may remember their response to these issues. So, per Niantic support, the reason for all those issues during Las Vegas was people that didn't buy the ticket went into a public park to do things like their daily incense, mystery boxes, etc. Now, I've already covered this, but the big issue here is that there's a couple. A, it was a public park that they'd put no effort into locking areas to ticketed only. They didn't work with the city to do any security stuff. So they had this ticketed event in a public space and just expected people to not go in it. And then, as typical EA level company would do, instead of accepting and acknowledging their issues, they threw it all on the players. If I remember to, I'll have this pictured here as well. Because, this was a very, very fun day. So it's like, okay, they're just denying blame like they always do. That was the end of it, right? Then we get into the pop-up Rayquaza raid hours. We had Breaking Swipe not available for a good chunk of time. We had the game crash. Game crash being the servers crashed. So once again, people couldn't log in. People got booted out of these raids and couldn't do them. The move was iffy on if it was available or not. It's like, okay, Sunday will be better. And Sunday relatively was. A couple minor bugs happened. But then the Rayquaza raids had the same issues again. And then so did the Primal raids. People couldn't finish their researches because of these bugs. People couldn't get stuff from the habitats to get the collection challenges done. People couldn't do the raids at all, etc., etc. The Rayquaza issues were both in the park and outside of the park. So it was more than just the park location. It's like, okay, that happened, whatever. Global happened. Iffy shiny rates there. I did well personally, but like I said in other videos, I know people that didn't. So the global was a little better. It wasn't great. We should have had exclusive moves for the Hoenn Pokemon and whatnot available and things like that. Like Meteor Mash, Frenzy Plant, etc. that the other tour events had. Neither in-person or global had these moves available, and some of them, like Outrage Salamence, haven't been available for like 3 years now. So that was fun. But then some time passes, we get calm days, we get classics, yada yada yada, the spotlight hours, the raid hours. Then we get to March 11th. The Regidrago Elite Raids. Oh boy. So you think, oh, they announced this stuff in February. They've got everything ready to go. Everything's coded. Everything's ready to work, etc. Nope. They didn't properly push the coding for Regidrago until pretty much every time zone had finished with the raids for the first hour. Because the 2 o'clock ones were slow, but they worked. And then 5 o'clock, if you even had any, I'm sure those were fine. I didn't see anything about those. But the issue was the 11 o'clock. Now, unlike the Hoopa raids, for these Drago raids, pretty much 90% of your raids spawned at 11. Which is a whole other thing, because if you can't play at 11, then you miss 90% of the raids. Some places didn't even get 5 o'clock ones at all, period. So it's like, okay, they want everybody out at 11 for these things. Fine. The game will work, right? Well, if you haven't seen my Regidrago Elite video, which I'll have a card for, then they didn't. As I show in my video, our servers crashed at 11, so we couldn't do the raids. I couldn't even log in for a good 30 minutes, when these raids only last for 30 minutes. Yet they have a 24-hour hatch time. So that makes sense. Let's make them last 30 freaking minutes. So, I couldn't get in. John couldn't get in. Brandon somehow could. We're still not sure how that was possible because he usually has more issues than either of us combined. But he couldn't do the raid anyway because we couldn't get in, and you can't solo that thing. So the East Coast had a bunch of server problems. Well, the early time zones didn't even have a catch circle. And that was if you could even get into the raid itself. So, okay, they announced a makeup event for the next day for those time zones. Well, somehow, after fixing it for the East Coast, they reverted those fixes. And then the makeup on the following day had the same issues that the day prior had for those time zones. I love when people in the next apartment over open and close their door. Anyway. So at the current time of recording, we don't know when it is yet, but they have said that there's going to be another makeup for those time zones. Keep in mind, this is only in March. We still have quite a bit of this year to go. And we, again, don't know when that makeup for the makeup will be. But they did say at some point one's going to happen. And then since we're in April now, on Easter Sunday nonetheless, they decided, oh, let's do the Regieleki Elite Raids. Now this is a problem for A, obviously it's on a freaking holiday. And then B, Regieleki was pushed the same way Regidrago was. And when they fixed Regidrago, they never touched Regieleki. So there's about a 98% chance that when these raids happen, they'll have the same issues that Regidrago had, if not worse ones. Because since Regidrago got updated, and to the point of recording this video, they have not done a thing to Regieleki. So we also don't know if like 2 o'clock's going to be more weighted, or 5 o'clock will be more weighted, or 11 again. We don't know any of that stuff yet. So it's pretty much expected that those are going to bomb once again. Like, we're to the point we haven't even had a Safari Zone announcement, and we usually have one by now. Just because none of their in-person stuff has worked. We've had some minor leaks here and there, but they haven't been very credible. I've only covered the big ones, but... So we have the in-person events not working, like, at all. Then the other day we get this Elite Raid nerf thing. So instead of fixing the stuff that isn't working, they're instead going to kill off the stuff that is, because of remote raids ruining the long-term health of the game. When again, they're doing literally nothing to buff the in-person raids to balance it out. But don't worry, we're getting a bundle of 3 premium passes for 250 coins. Oh my god! The game is saved. Niantic's the best. Oh my god. That was sarcasm, and I hope you guys got that. But if not, that was sarcasm. That looked so funny on the face cam. Hopefully someone got a good laugh out of that. So yeah, in-person stuff isn't working, and that's what they're trying to shift the game to. So then in the Eurogamer article, which once again is linked down in the description, if you want to go check it out for yourself, get all this very important information like what the median player is and all that. They did talk a little bit about the data mine shadow raids, which of course it was typical Niantic talking about a leaked feature. So they pretty much said nothing, but they did indirectly confirm that those are coming, which based off data mines will have their own separate pass like Elite EX raids used to back in the day. So we don't know how any of that stuff's going to work, but supposedly they're going to have another type of raid pass just for those. And then they also teased Arceus coming, which of course they did. They're in a load of bad PR. They have to tease a fan favorite mythical just to get people to get their minds off the negatives. So we have confirmation that that's coming at some point. That'll probably be Elite Raids, because why wouldn't it? That's what they want people to do now. But who cares? It's just Arceus. It's only going to be the base form, which is completely useless because it's a normal type. And even then, its move pool is pretty bad, so... Because in typical Go fashion, if you're dropping something that has a ton of great moves, let's give them none of them. But, yeah. So that's pretty much the scoop on things. If you're not caught up, in-person stuff is failing, and that's what they're trying to shift the game to forcibly by nerfing and all the other stuff. I kind of touched on it on the rant video, but if they want people going back out, then they need to make it so that the raid rewards and raid pools and researches, etc., are worth going out for. Because honestly, not having any April field research is kind of nice. Because let's be real here, the monthly researches have just been pretty much a flaming dumpster that's been on fire for the past year. So there's no reason to go out for stuff in those. The raid pools are complete trash. Prime example being the current one right now. So like, the raids aren't worth doing. The researches aren't worth doing. The events are a joke. I mean, the Ditto one was decent, but that was mainly because there was Team Rocket stuff going on as well. Plus, Ditto is perma-boosted, so he had a good chance of getting a shiny. But like this Easter event coming up looks pretty bad. The April Fool's event was a joke compared to prior ones. Because prior ones we've had the Gen 4 graphic sprites, we've had shiny debuts, we've had whole events. This was just, oh, here's a spotlight hour that happened a week ago. With a field with a special research that doesn't start till 2 hours after the event started. So the events have just kind of sucked. The raids have sucked. The researches have sucked. So if they want people going back outside like their data hints or implies or suggests or whatever they say in the article, then they need to update the in-person stuff so that it's worth it. Oh, but if you do raids in person, you can get XL candy and Poffins. Well, not during the last 2 raid hours. Because if you don't remember, the last 2 Ho-Oh raid hours had Rare XL and Poffins removed from the raid reward pool entirely, which at the time of recording Niantic has still not stated a thing about. So they want people to go in person to stuff, but then they remove the 2 things that people go in person for. So I don't know what data they're looking at. I don't know how many burnt potatoes they're basing this stuff off of, but if they want people to go outside and in person to their ticketed events and stuff, and they want in-person stuff to be motivators for going out, then they need to A, make sure the freaking thing works, which kind of sad that a common sense point is the main leading point for this, but so make sure stuff works. Update the raid pool so that stuff's worth battling. Update the research pool so there's rare things in them that people actually want to go out for. Because I'm not going to go walk outside, go get a 3 Great Throw task for a Snubble. Like, I'm just not. If you put, I don't know, like Snorlax, Lapras, Bagon, etc. And yes, Bagon is apparently in the Catch the Dragon type. That's like a 90 to 1 or 90 to 10% in favor of Dratini. So, like, put rare stuff that's useful in the researches so that people have a reason to go out and hunt for those. Update the eggs so that there's desirable stuff in them. Because, spoiler alert, Rockruff isn't as rare as they think it is. Especially since we still have Dusk form that has yet to come. Esper's old news, etc. So, like, the eggs need updated. There's no reason Token to Maru should be in 10Ks. There just isn't. There's no reason why Munchlax should be AS exclusive or Adventure Sync exclusive if you don't know what AS is. Because you can only hatch Munchlax right now from Adventure Sync 5Ks. So, like, update the egg pools, update the raids, update the researches, etc., etc. Like, all just the common sense stuff that has sucked. That is in person. So I can't go spin a Gibble task from here. I have to go out and find a Gibble task. I can't hatch my eggs from here. I have to go out and walk to hatch eggs, etc. So, like, make that stuff have desirable things that people actually want. And then people will go out to find them, and in turn, give you the data that you're looking for. But who knows? If they think remote raiding damages the long-term health of the game and they need to nerf it to oblivion to fix that, then who knows what their thoughts are on the other stuff. I'm not diving into all the GBL stuff because I don't care about that. I don't play it, so I'm not going to waste time on that. But this video's already long enough. That's just my PG 2 cents on this stuff. I don't agree with the nerfs, If they want to cap it, fine. But if you're going to go through the effort of capping it to 5 a day, then don't double the cost of it. Like, pick one or the other. Either double the cost, but don't cap it, or cap it, but keep the costs where they are. And then obviously update all the other stuff that requires being out in person so people are more enticed to do it. Get better events. Just stuff like that. Update the eggs. Like, I'm not going to go outside to go and get a Baneri, when 90% of the time that's my daily spawn. Oh look, there's another Pikachu out there with a slightly different color flower from previous years. Who cares? It can't go to home, it can't go to Let's Go. All they did was repaint one flower, etc. So it's like if they want people to go outside to give them the data that they're looking for, the answer isn't nerf, 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 nerf. Sure, some nerfs, whatever. But if you're gonna nerf, then you have to buff alongside it so that stuff is balanced. But will that happen? Who knows? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on all this down below. If you've wrote out this video and you got to this point, thank you. This wasn't a video I planned to record today, but after sitting back and reading the EUROGAMER article, I kind of felt the need to. I don't have every answer, obviously. And I don't work for them, or I'm not affiliated with them in any way. So they'll probably never even see this. But like I've said before in tweets and other videos, the potential of this game is amazing. It's just in the wrong hands. So let me know what you guys think. If you're new here, then make sure your subscribe notifications on. I did upload a forgotten Toys R Us event that has come back in recent time earlier, which you can see in either a card or the end card. I'm not sure where I'll put that yet, but definitely go check that out if you want some nostalgia. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on all this are. If you guys have any other suggestions, put them down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.